Continuing coverage tonight, a man accused of attacking his mother with a chainsaw will be held without bond.
The judge said that the suspect is just too dangerous to the public. WGNO's Ashley Hamilton is here with more from court. Ashley.
Good evening, Kurt. Susie, it was an emotional moment in court as both daughters of the victim took the stand in tears about the entire ordeal. One thing both Pittman's attorney and the daughters agree on is that the need for Pittman to remain on medication.
A 3-hour-long court hearing concluded Friday with a judge revoking the bond of John Pittman. The 34-year-old is accused of attacking his mother with a chainsaw before injuring 2 New Orleans police officers who were attempting to arrest him.
We weren't concerned with the bond so much as making sure that our client is healthy. So we expected that the judge would set a no bond on him. That really wasn't our issue, it's not our concern.
Prior to his arrest, Pittman had been out on bond following an arrest in August of 2023 after he allegedly attacked an elderly man at a Union Passenger station. While on the stand, both of Pittman's sisters expressed their fears for their family if he were to be released on bond again. When asked if their mother felt the same way, they were unable to answer, with one sister acknowledging that her mother is not speaking to anyone about the ordeal.
What we heard in court today was that the mom is more afraid of the police officers who continue to solicit some type of response or some type of version of a story that they want to hear, that the mother is mostly concerned about just being able to recuperate in peace.
Pittman's sisters also testified that he hadn't spoken to his mother in months and that her recollection of the situation is a blur. We
also heard that the mother can't remember anything that happened. It's probably based upon the trauma that was induced by the accident.
Meanwhile, Pittman's attorney argued that if Pittman was on his medication, he would not be a danger to anyone.
Family's concerned about Mr. Pittman, especially his mother, just wants peace right now, privacy, just to be able to heal from this unfortunate accident.
Now Pittman is being remanded until a court competence hearing is held. He's due back in court August 29th. Kurt, Susie.
We'll wait to hear an update on that. Thank you, Ashley.